record it and play it back later. But right now, it looks like they're going to pass this 1-week extension just to give themselves more time to deal with the bigger issue of the $1 trillion spending bill. But Democrats were playing a bit of hardball in the Senate, saying they weren't going to vote for the short-term deal unless they had assurances that the long-term deal was close to being hammered out, because they don't want this to be a giant mess next week. So it sounds like they're getting to that point, but the House is going to vote first, then it goes to the Senate, and then guess what? Everybody heads to the airports to get out of town for the weekend.
So what is explain this to me? What is a 1-week extension going to do? They've had since October to get it done. So
Right.
what is a week going to do?
Literally just give them another week. I mean, seriously, this keeps the government funded at the current levels, and then they have another week to deal with the bigger issues. I think all of the controversial things that we saw come up this week that might have sabotaged the longer term spending bill have been taken off the table for now, because they're going to work things out in a different capacity. So nobody wants a government shutdown. And if you just look at it from the pure politics of this, the Republicans control the White House, the House, and the Senate. It's pretty hard to see how they wouldn't get the blame if there was a shutdown, even if the president's talking about how it's Democrats' fault, even if the House leadership, are saying, well, Democrats aren't going to vote for this. It's still on them. They have the majority votes. They need to get this done.
And since it's a budget, they don't need 60 votes in the Senate, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. And I guess we'll see today. Yeah. I think that's right, though.
Yeah. Okay. So with everything else, NAFTA, health care, and changing the way they tax, biggest tax overhaul in a century. First of all, where are we with the health care deal? Now we open up the paper this morning. It looks like it's dead again.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not looking great. Here's a pretty telling quote from House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. He said, "We're still educating members." That's not, we're still trying to bring them on board. Like, they're still trying to explain this right now. Here's where our count is. We have at least 17 House Republicans who say they are going to vote no. Good chunk of those are moderates. You have another 17 or so that are undecided. They can't lose more than 21 or else this won't pass. And we've heard Paul Ryan, behind closed doors, has said he is not going to put this up for a vote unless they know they have the votes to get it passed. So that's why we're not seeing it today. That's why we're not seeing it tomorrow, because the White House really wanted to do something before the 100th day. I mean, this was kind of an artificial deadline. They're going to come back at it next week. But right now, I don't know if it's there.
Karen Travers, this weekend is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Donald Trump not going.
He is not.
Break of protocol. How big of a deal is this story in Washington, D.C.?
I mean, it's a pretty big deal, but he did announce this, I think, in February, so it's had a lot of time to sink in. But the president did do an interview with Reuters yesterday. This is great because the White House reporter for Reuters is the president of the White House Correspondents Association, and the president said he will go next year. He thinks things will be better, and he would like to attend. So we'll see in 1 year if he does that. But instead, it's his 100th day in office. He's holding a rally in Pennsylvania at the exact same time as a dinner. Is that a coincidence? Probably not.
Donald Trump went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner as a civilian.
He did. I was there for that one. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people thought it was going to be interesting to see him have the microphone, have his chance to turn the tables a bit there. But of course, we're not going to get that chance to see him do a comedy routine.
His comedy routine at the Al Smith dinner in New York was awesome. I was really looking
forward to it. There were some great lines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fun to see presidents mix it up a little bit. He had some tough lines, though, some that were like pretty, hard zingers, because it was right before the election. I think it was the week before. But, President Obama, President Bush, I think they grumbled about having to do it, but they also liked it too. I mean, Obama, my favorite thing about Obama doing it was when he would be in the middle of a joke and he would start laughing at the joke before he got to the punchline, because he had already read it and practiced it. And then after he finished it and everybody was laughing, he'd like kind of look at himself like, yeah, that was a good one. He really got a kick out of it. And Bush, of course, would do his like shoulder laugh too. And, they do enjoy it. It's a nice event. I think it had gotten a bit bigger than it needed to be for some time, but ultimately it is still about the White House correspondents celebrating our own, giving journalism awards out, and a good amount of scholarship money.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.